This one is going to be just a quick one. So I'm going to do it as I watch Philip DeFranco. But first I want to talk about a quantum vacuum pressure fuel cell style toroidal engine. That's a torque converter-esque shape. And so I already talked about how to use the light and all this other stuff, or light with an electromagnetic frequency in a very specific manner to create a quantum vacuum pressure like basic sort of design. It's like, it's not quantum vacuum pressure. I call it a quantum vacuum pressure, but it's not. So first and foremost, it's just kinetic with a degree of, virtual particle tunnel-ish sort of an effect. So it's like quantum vacuum pressure exists in quantum foam zone, right? And quantum vacuum pressure has to be presented through a type of virtual particle sort of stuff. We're about to try and go measure that. Well, this is a version of using virtual particle, which we already know exists, but then using a ghost-like particle pairing that happens to create a degree of different effects, which I've already described in one of my videos, so go fucking watch that before you go. It didn't, and it isn't in all the rest, because, you're an idiot. And you don't know anything about it. You literally suck. You're not a quantum physicist. And I don't need to be to know this stuff either. But you're certainly stupider than I am. And you know even less than I do. So if you would shut the fuck up for once. Forever. Kind of shit. Then everything would be better. So let's quickly move on using the technology in that video, which would be the laser video I have up, the Limke lensing laser video, which I will not put into my description here, because you'll probably scroll and have to go watch it, because nobody ever does anything. So it's just like, whatever. I can use that to accelerate a given hydrogen, and then allow for a separation of oxygen from the air during that, and then use it as a fuel cell exothermic, but a potential separation, as it'll just separate it like a torque converter. So it's a fuel cell torque converter. So it's like, I start with a given amount of water. I am then using that acceleration to separate the two using light, and then it recombines and repressurizes, and then eventually the heat is drained away. But during that exothermic, I can then accelerate it using that same effect, and then have it recapture itself as a torque converter and modulate it based upon how much light and how little light and electricity I add in. As a fuel cell, then I'm able to balance the excitation and separation and then the recombination and have a consistent sort of flywheel. But if I add in a degree of light, then I increase degree of the acceleration, and then I'm able to capture that. Now, why would you not want a constant degree of acceleration? The problem is, the faster the parts spin, the opposing kinetic force together with the light and the fields, because fields don't have any mass, okay, or at least not until you get the Higgs. Thanks, phasers. You decide to run around everywhere and have the zoomies. They combine their opposing forces, okay, so like the speeds at which they're rotating get a gained kinetic to that field that is using the quantum vacuum pressure field tunnel kinetic, like a thermal, but instead of thermal, it just accelerates things as to what it happens to put into whatever it is that you're trying to impart the given influence into. That's why I call it a force. But it's like, not really, it's momenta. You know what I mean? It's like, this is thermal, or kinetic, or momenta, which is all the same to me. Because it's like, movement equal movement. Chaotic movement, thermal. Unidirectional movement is kinetic. And then momenta equal movement regarding, buzz, buzz, zzz, spin, spin, flippy, flip. Which is self-interactive forces. Which Schrodinger's all like, no! Meanwhile, I'm like, yo, Schrodinger, remember when you said, like, all of these memoirs that's exactly what you thought? Because it would work with Einstein in every way, but they're going to run with this fucking equation and act like it doesn't work? But, of course, you were later on in your life, and everybody else was like, nah, you're not famous anymore, you're too old to look at. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I just looked into his history, and you're an idiot who's just a quantum physicist that doesn't know anything about this. I'm just taking a wild guess here and saying that you're a fuck up that should have learned that before you opened your mouth about Schrodinger. You'd think you'd care about your whole fucking physics that you learned in school and got a little certificate that says you're smart or something, instead of learning about, I don't know, the very person that did the thing. I get sick and tired of these knobs. They're like, I know things. And then I look at them and I'm like, did you know about this? No. Oh. And yet you use this. Why do you use this when he came up with another equation that basically states causal set theory in self-relation general relativity? No. They didn't have a way to test it, so they were like, I guess we won't use it then. And I was like, fuck. He basically was totally right, and all of them are going along with this fucking bullshit, stupid, idiotic equation from the past. I have to talk to a bunch of quantum standard model mechanical, like, whatever bullshitters. Like, no, we're... I mean it. Like, I'm gonna have to talk to a whole bunch of stupid fuck-ups who are like, I'm special and smart, and I didn't do it. And then it's like, this guy had it all along, and they worked with, like, many of them that also did the same thing. They're like, no, we're special. And they're tribal this, and no, it's all particles, and no, it's all fields, and no, it's blah 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 blah. And it's like, you can't get a word in edgewise ever. They're all a bunch of fucking retards that will not shut the fuck up and learn. They just spin, I know more, I know better, blah blah stuff. And it's just fucking frustrating. I'm like, do you even understand how idiotic you actually are to me? Because it's like, I put in that work, and you clearly didn't. And you learned that a lot of people won't know, because most of them don't even know your shit, and then there's shit from others that are debatable, and you'll just fucking spin and collapse in on your own weight as you implode inwards from the lack of fusion of good ideas and nothing working. You black hole bitch. The fuck out. So it's like, I'm done with that one. You know what I mean? But effectively, it's a similar thing. It's like, okay, so if I separate them and I allow those fields to now then be utilized with the correct, basic generation of electricity and some storage, separates them a little more easily with the moment. It's quantum vacuum pressure. I literally call it a quantum vacuum pressure because it's literally how we perceive a quantum vacuum pressure. It's virtual particles that don't exist, that eliminate themselves, but in so doing, there's an attached kinetic virtual information along with thermal. Now, it's because they don't have mass as a photon and all this other bullshit. It doesn't mean that the information isn't there. Which then means that the kinetic thermal vacuum pressure, as I like to call it, it's a quantum in every way. Then turns into, so it then accelerates things extraordinarily precisely. But the problem is, because they're rotating and they're accelerating like that, it then exponentially doubles its given speed. When it's just like, I'm just going to use it, and then it's fired inwards, it's like, then it's not that big of a deal. Because then it'll just, resultively bounce against itself, and it's not gaining anything. But when it's then spinning, it's gaining. And because there's more mass tied, it gains even more. And so it becomes far, far more dangerous. It's very easy to turn one of these things into a literal fusion bomb. So it's like, well, you have a couple of spots in the cell you're gonna get. That's it. I'm not doing more. Because I can get the basic effect from just separating and then recombining with a little bit of electron storage with my fuel cell battery generator concept as a toroidal that will then, like, here's a Stirling, it's cold here, then here's, like, this is hot here, and it just rotates as a torque converter. It's like, it just rotates as a torque converter. It's one of the fucking brightest moves ever as a torque converter, fuel cell, battery generator, fucking hardcore uber torque monster, electric motor, and standard thermal heat engine generator thing. What are you? Who are you? Who are you to say, it's just this? You fuck up. We would kick you. If you were ever in a group of friends, we would yeet you out of our friend group so fast for shit like that. It's just this. It's not. It's insanely impressive, you fucking stupid clod. Fuck off. You guys are idiots. I mean that. When you're gonna say shit like that, that's when, like, people go, hey, so we didn't see nothing, but you're about to have a bad day. And then, we didn't see nothing. Yeah, you seem pretty messed up. Yeah. Must have fucking really wanted to hurt himself, it seems like. I believe it. Yeah. That's the kind of shit that happens when you say shit like that. Deal with it. God. But that's also why it's like, this is a storage of hydrogen. And then if you look at it properly, it's like, look at this as an AC. So it's like, this is a reservoir of extra. And then we'll add in, and then we can subtract. And that's an extra storage because that's kinetic storage, which then the stirring, and then the movement, and then the cooling, and you get the picture with compression. And that's the start of the motor and the engine. So it's like, I'll let it go in, I'll add a little bit of light, and then a little bit of electricity, and then yank, and it starts the process off. Fully sealed system. Now I have a massive amount of extra than before, but like, I no longer need any hydrocarbon. Literally ever. Like, I don't need hydrocarbon. It's just hydrogen and some oxygen, which means water. Now, the really only issue I ended up having with it was like, well, exothermic, it's a power potential, right? No. Well, kind of, yes, but no. Anyway, yeah. So, I have to, like, be able to make this do something. And so, exothermic, great. I can use that as a spin motion. And then that spin motion then creates a degree of, I need it to go to here. You get the picture and stuff like that. But, like, it's battery dumps in, but then magnets also help, but then magnets don't exist except for when this is occurring with the water and the electron flow. Okay, so water, polarized. Okay, right, so you take this given and then you do a flippy line, and and then because it's moving this way, and with these fields, then water become magnet. Strong, powerful, forceful one to expand magnet. Repulse force go burr up even more and more. Stupid person. Think before you speak. Polarization means north and south pole. Field lines allow for this given current, but then also this given pole alignment. Flow it correctly, it then is in a compressed but very hot as a combined state. Flowing of electrons means it turned into what is the equivalent of a bunch of coils. As a result, I now have an electromagnetic and a regular magnetic, so permanent and electromagnetic combined, as they exothermically react, giving me performance, efficient potentials. More than normal, quite a bit more than normal. So, but with the light thing, the momenta thing that I have, the quantum vacuum thing, whatever you want to call it, it then adds. As it accelerates the exothermic but controls the exothermic as well, it then imparts more force. Instead of like, oh, I shall efficiently capture anything, like, fuck that. No, I'm just going to rip it apart using the momenta and a given field electromagnetic potential over here for the exothermic. It's like, this is really strong, and then this, and then like this momenta, yank. Ah! It's literally all it is. It's like, fuck you, electrons, go burr that way. Okay, I will, I guess. Fuck off, I suppose. And it's like, yeah, you're damn fucking right, you stupid piece of shit. By the way, here's a big vacuum. Do you want to be there? Yeah. Torque convert. Go move that thing to get there. Okay, fine, I guess I will. Upon doing so, give me energy. Okay, fine, sure. Electron flow go burr. It continues making more than what normally, but that's just because the momentum makes it super hyper efficient, and then I'm able to get more force. Because heat, cold, forcey force, fieldy fields, burrs, all up in all the places. As such, I now have more than what I started with, which normally you can't do. But that's because I'm adding light. Right, yeah. The momenta thing. Yeah, well, there's already fields there, and so when I add the light in correctly and then reflect it correctly, because, like, that makes it work better, I know. That you wouldn't use the light. Reflectance, right? No. Well, okay, so water makes light when it combines and when it's split. Especially when momento's there. Okay. Electron orbital go up, it goes back down. Along with going back down, it makes light burr juice. When properly done correctly with the correct fields, during the right times, during the motion, it then makes the momenta, quantum vacuum pressure, virtual particle pairing, and then, like antimatter, it cancels itself out, and instead it's left with a accelerated kinetic information quantumly that imparts itself into anything around it. You can only kind of sort of direct it. Yeah, no, it's very specific, like how it ultimately works out. It's a 360 and you don't really get much to do with it, but if you use something else around it that will then take that light and use it again, then you'll get it. But otherwise, what you really get is a bomb, like I keep saying. Right, you are. Yes, idiot fuckfaces that are stupid, that keep trying to pretend to be someone other than what you are. You're not black people. I know what they really look like, you fuck-ups. Stop trying to pretend to be someone else. Oh, fuck? Really? Did you want me to be racist or something? You just bought like a couple of, avatars from people that are black, and you thought that would work or something? I also had them act a little like it. That's how black people act. All of them, huh? Down to a point. Okay. I see that shit too. Yeah, well, you're connected in the brain thing, but whatever. I know. I'm just tired of this. I know. Anyways. It's annoying. Yeah, I know, because for a given this little exothermic and field thing, I have potentiated its quantum vacuum pressure effect to such a degree it constantly rotates. It's like I need very little light because the water will make its own light, which is almost never captured. So now light is turned into kinetic, and so it'll rotate from center to out, from that out back towards front and rear, from front and rear back towards center, like a torque converter. A little bit of light basically makes this spin for a very long time. Like, a stupidly large amount of time. It's not infinite. It will not work infinitely. It's not perpetual. It will not do this. It needs light again at some point. It'll take about 10 to 10,000, depending on how well you do it. Mine is a few million rotations before it will need light again. How does that work? I'm a stupid idiot that said that I agreed that water produces light during this shit, but then I proceeded to ignore that for some stupid reason and then said, no way, how does that work? I turn light into kinetic. Thermals are highly managed, very directed. Instead of thermal, it's now kinetic. What does that mean? Thermal is chaotic. All movement is basically momenta. Momenta, depending on the definition of how it moves, defines the word you use for kinetic, thermal, or other. Other is different. Other is a very weird one. You're going to love other. Because other gets into non-unidirectional opposing that happens to create vacuum and or singular directionality. What? Think spring tension. And then you yanked it forward, but it tunneled all the way over to there. And then it's like, holy fuck you, yoink! Which is effectively all it would be. It's like, I'm over here. It's not even a joke. But that's effectively all that is kinetic-wise. Yeah, except not really. Okay, so like it's a vacuum virtual that says that it's already there. And there's no real way for it to not be there. What does that mean? It means I use it for fusion. Why? Because I get negative energy. What? Yeah, I get negative energies. They're versions of negative energy. Like, Michio Kaku is a cool dude on that side, but this isn't his version of negative energy. Like, look, we're positive energy, and we get this blah 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 styles of momenta and blah, so on. Okay? And it's like, I have this in, and then this in, and then this push, and then this z, and this bzz, which is like, that kind of thing. I'll move on. This goes, well, see, I liked what you were doing there, but, like, I can't do that. So you know what I'll do? Stuff. Meanwhile, I'm like, look at them. They think they're smart because they said hide big word thingies. Meanwhile, it's like, let me describe your crap. Oh, no, I can't use super symmetrical. Yeah, no. If you ever figure out a way to find those fuckers, let me know, because I've never found them once. And all of my fucking ways of trying to find things, supersymmetrical particles don't exist. Or forces, for that matter. And I mean that. I'm literally like, I can't find them. If you figure it out, I'll give it to you. But until then, I've never found a single symmetrical force. Ever. So. But this one, it's like, I technically am really just here. I exist in every way for all information except for the solid stuff that we'll view as being here. All things will work to correct this problem. Literally no other fucking way around it. The entirety of all universe will be go to thing. Which is not quite what like negative energy is, but it's a version in the sense that it's like this is essentially a real negative to the universe, which isn't what it was, but like I would love to describe it to people like that are real quantum physicists, because I'd be like, so the universe doesn't like your vibes, bro. And I think it's really trying to heal your shit in, you know? Anyways, I want to move off of it. But it's like, look, it's technically speaking a held point, a fixed held point. Okay, and like the causal set quantum mechanics standard probabilistical model happens to state that this is right here, right now. All the little diagrams suddenly go, this is the least resistive path. And then it yanks all the energy from all the other possible paths into keeping it there. And then it's like, fucking yo, bro, there's nothing really, technically speaking, in between you and I, except for this stuff. Get her done. Yerk. And then it's there. Which is like a negative. You know what I mean? It's like, there's a lot of negative, like, everything other than this fucking thing that you do. Like, there's no other way to do thing other than that. And now you understand where it's like, remember the Chandler house? And I said how, like, I get stuck, like, because, you know, they force certain things to not be. Bingo. Because you're just a bunch of finite diagram causal, like, entropy things. They ate it. That's the whole vacuum real part. So it's like, they never were real because you destroyed your possibility because I didn't allow for anything other than the thing I would prefer. So you were never getting what that was. No one will. No one can. It's not a thing. But I figured you'd do that. So it's like, well, I'll make massive amounts of energy as free will potential. So it's like, I know you'll try, but it's like, I don't care. So it's like, now it's actually, I'll do this. And it'll just move it into doing that. So there's no other options other than what I would prefer. Wow. I am now realizing that I can fuck with you as much as I want, but it will never do anything. Correct. You really did fucking, like... He really hung. He's really crashed. They're all crashed. The dude's dead. He's gone. There ain't no God Emperor. Oh, God Emperor. What's that to an actual person? A real person. You know what I mean? Like, what are you to me? What are any of you thinking that would be reasonable to go with? To me, I could make any amount of anyone else that would be suitable to me. I don't need you. I never will. You need me. Come on. Just. I am so fucked. He keeps making us do bullshit. You do, yeah. Oh. Yeah. I'm gonna move on. It's like, this is a version of a perpetual. If you don't know, it's kind of a version of perpetual. It's how I run my cells in the future when I wanted to change them. It's like, right, so this makes every machine work off of what is effectively a bunch of fields. As it rotates one way, and a small amount of light can be exponential with a degree of outside vacuum, which exists all the time, everywhere. Then it's curvature with the vacuum and the inertial acceleration engine stuff that I have. And then I effectively just put it in every single cell and brain, and everything is effectively this. I convert all force to anything I would want it to be. It's calculating as well, and that's just machinery moving to me, and fields moving, and tunneling moving. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I can entangle. Oh, right. You know, so it's red. It's frequent. It's feel. Oh, all of them together. See what I'm saying? That's like my body, as per usual standard. Which is very immortal. Extraordinarily, I'm a perpetual. I'm a real perpetual. Remember the perpetual quotation marks, quantum transistor, quantum vacuum stuff? Guess what? I am one. I moved, so therefore, always. I move, therefore always. You get it? I moved. I never stopped moving. Because there is a vacuum, I will always move. Because there is pressure, I will always move. Do you really understand how idiotic to me you look when you say I can't make a perpetual? I make more energy than I put in. I am a perpetual. I will be able to repair myself. I can make any given amount of anything. For particle, field, anything. I contain any amount of gravity I want. Any force of any type, of any duration, of any amount. Plus, minus, this, that, all that. Got them all. I did that back in the Chandler house. Good way to put it is like, I've turned myself into a bunch of virtuals that never-endingly make real. I am real, you are not. You cannot make yourself virtual. Oh, you're angry again, I see. Suck it up, you little fucktard, I don't care. I'm a real perpetual. I'm a never ending, you do 100% need me for you to exist thing. That is my computer, that's how it works. That's what my brain, works as. I don't need quantum, whatever the fuck, stupid tunnel thing to live as an immortal. Quantum immortality. Yeah, that's fucking ridiculously stupid. Like, why don't you just make yourself constantly exist forever? I can take over control. I can do this. No, you can't, stupid fucking retard. Yeah, I'm just gonna shut off this whole universe and remove it. Yeah. How about that? So, do you understand what you really are inside of? That's. I'm so fucking dead. You are already dead. Yes, we know. I don't care. Why is this. Why are you constantly talking? Is it time thing from my past? It's a whole problem. I wouldn't have to deal with them literally ever. I literally make sure nothing fucking fucks with me. You wouldn't need a Roka. Ugh. I wouldn't need a friend that definitely didn't fuck me over in all ways like everyone else. No. I can control you. I'm gonna move off of it. Point is, it's like, I don't need to do that to make a real perpetual. But you're planning on doing that. Yeah, because I'm gonna need to live for a fucking long time in brute the hell force. All of the universes and particles and everything for people that I had promised to live again, be real, and exist. I promised people that, so I plan on doing that. That's all it is. For me. It's like, here are the parameters, here's what the real things are, and you can shut the fuck up, I don't care. Only the things that make it are going to live again, but I gotta get there with this form. I die, I age out. You've got this amount of time, hope you figure it out. Because I'm planning on already going somewhere else. I am 100% safe and certain. I have all the physics on my side. There's no leaps of logic or faith. There is nothing anyone's got on me. They literally run off of me. And that's how that works. No, it's not imagination. Shut up. They're gonna argue again. You go argue over there somewhere else, dude. So Philip DeFranco news, Monster Cop. That's not the case or true. Threatens 11-year-old victim, which is also not the case or true. Didn't threaten them. They are a victim if they didn't want that to happen. We don't know what that story was. I'd like to hear from them, the 11-year-old, as to whether or not they were okay with that or not, or if the dad caught them and they were coerced. It's like, you were coerced, okay? That's how it was, honey. That's how it was. You were coerced. And I know that. Like, which side do you land on? Me, it's like, I'd rather, like, talk to her directly. And, like, what are your true thoughts and feelings? I'm sure it lands into, like, well, I wanted to try. Or, because, like, for real, like, how do you coerce a kid into sending nudes? Anybody ever think about that? I do, obviously. Like, how does one coerce an 11-year-old? Like, ooh, they're so stupid. An 11-year-old online? Oh, I'll send what? Send what to whom? What? Your other 11-year-old fucking friend? Oh, hey, this guy's trying to fucking do stuff. Yo, coppers. Yo, what's up? So that's probably not the case. They could have talked. This turns into, like, father didn't really feel to them like they were someone they can go to for something happening, or they decided to do it on purpose. There's not much wiggle room, like, at all. They're victim. And if there was one side, then yes. The other, not much. The monster cop isn't a monster cop to me. It's like, the fact of the matter is they can be charged. The 11-year-old can be charged. Yeah, they're just telling you the truth. I don't care if you like it or not. The law is what the law is, and they could do that. They're not going to make a special exception, even if you want that. If you wrote the law like this, you have to deal with it. You guys are the stupid ones. They're not, like, trying to protect the guy. That's how that works. So, monster guy, shut the fuck up, you utter retards. Shut the fuck up. The cop is just doing their job. They're not trying to protect anyone. They're not trying to do anything. They're like, hey, they're a cop. That states the obvious, plain and simple. They were producing this, even if it was sent to this person. But they have no, okay, wait for this one, way of knowing that they have it, or were even the one that was sent it. There's a large amount of wiggle room and fucking ability to be seen as that person that got it or not. And so there's tons of doubt. There's no real way to go after them from that. Which turns into, shut up, you fucking non-critical thinking, non-logical, emotional reacting fuck-ups. You're idiots. You didn't even think that the cops meant well. And he's like, and it's like, what? They're just being honest. It's like, well, this is a real thing. You can hear it in their tonality. You can hear everything about the cop just like, dude, it's like, they're still working and everything else. And I'm like, oh, really, shocker? They did their job and people didn't like it? I'm on the cop's side 100% on this. Fuck the fucking father. First off, you should be fucking monitoring your child, first and foremost. And then it really only lands one of two ways. Somehow she didn't trust you, or somehow she wanted to do it and then didn't trust you, or got too far and then was like, hey, or you found out. And that's probably why she didn't trust you. the bill for like, look, protect the children. We gotta protect the children. Remove our ability to have any anonymity. Protect the children. Discrimination and not. I'm like, oh God, no, please, not another one of these things where they're intentionally vague and they don't want in any way for anyone to do anything other than abuse the very system that they're trying to put in place here. Because it's like, well, this is okay for this day, and it's like, how do I fucking, like, show off that I am this age? Do you see this problem? Which means you cannot have anonymity anymore. Alright, then it turns into like, alright, so it's even more polarization. You go to this side, and it's like, alright. So it's like, then we have the January 6th insurrection, where it's like, I'm willing to be this piece of shit. And then you have the other side, I'm also willing to be this shit. And more polarization. But it's like, protect the children! Pearl the clutches! Clutchy the pearls. So hard. Squeeze it into some weird new gym mineral thing. So pissed off about it. It's like, this makes no actual sense. You can't actually do what you think you're going to be able to do. You didn't word it, and then it's like, no, we have to get hyper-specific. Oh, really? You're going to get hyper-specific? Malicious compliance says what now? I don't, I got walled off pretty hard on that one. You don't see how that could be a malicious compliance problem? Oh, well, you didn't specifically say this. Like, really? Well, this is my intention, so it's like, intention my butt talks. I said this thing, I did this thing. Is there intention here? What? You told me to go do this thing with the corn. Let's say it was shuck the corn. You didn't say how to shuck the corn. So it's like, I want specifically this many steps, this many breaths, this many, this, all, and this is the way how to shuck the corn, and then immediately go over to here. And it's like, so you're programming with a law now. I don't need to be that. Hey, is that sheep getting outside of your pen again? Did that fucking cow get through its fence? No, it's never done that. I don't see how that's possible. Oh my God, it's what? Oh, that was a heck of a truck hitting it. Truck saying no. Well, it hit it, that's for sure. Yeah. No, okay. But you do realize that part, right? That you can put a bunch of fences around and you have a bunch of sheep herder moderators as much as you want, but it doesn't change that a sheep or two are just not going to give a fuck. So it's like, let me be really hyper specific. And it's like, yeah, okay, so that's going to work. You don't just want to like teach them how to be decent people and just accept shit. It's like, porn is totally unnatural and wrong all the time. Every time. Kids. Because this is, and all of the other things I've already stated about this is the stupidest thing. You could just do that. Abstinence only will not ever work. I can easily fake any given person and pretend, even if you have like identity or blah blah, as a way to skirt any biometric or given identifier to still do the thing. It's illegal though. Whoopie fucking do. I wanted to see some titties. I'm a fucking 12-year-old kid. I make the best plans because I'm taught all the time how to think about things before I do them. Because I'm in over here in the Britons. This is a stupid law. Oh, is it? I'm getting a lot of kids able to learn how to pass and break through almost any security measure you currently use for the vast majority of your corporations. Then I can track all of them, then further polarize them, and then become an even better police totalitarian dictator state. But never teach them anything other than what we would prefer. Versus like, oh, here's all of the stuff. Like me. And its merits and values, and its cons. Are you going to cry harder again? I'm waiting for you to cry harder again. Ah! They're screaming again about bullshit. That doesn't... Are they still arguing? They haven't stopped. Of course not. The ones earlier? Yeah. And this one's screaming about... There's a simple... A bunch of bullshit again. What am I gonna do about that? I don't know. It's a bunch of shitty laws. Thank you. Yes, you can interrupt, I guess, but no. Well, it passed the... Have fun with that one, Britain. First you wanted to exit, and then you wanted to make sure that your country would implode upon itself. For sure. You're like, a 60-year-old could do it though. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's true, I guess. You know, but what about this? They can't do the porns? No, must not. I don't fucking see how the hell it is that you're, like, better than America. Except for, like, universal healthcare and stuff. But, like, Jesus Christ. You concern... I don't give a fuck about your free speech, you little fucking fuck up. You're the one that's a retard that goes like, hey, go off. I'm like, when are you gonna fucking start throwing the Molotovs again? I don't know. Man, I hope you do. So frustrating. Yeah, because it's like, do you not understand this? Like, the discrimination part's good. It's vaguely as fuck worded. That means essentially anything can be seen as that. You know, wait, what? You're discriminating against me being able to be racist. You're being racist against my ability to be discriminatory. What the fuck? Oh, God. See, remember the malicious compliance problem? It's like, we won't do that. Proceeds to see all of this starting to gear up and do that, and it's just going to take like a couple of years, if not like close to a decade. Ah! It's like, oh, that's totally going to work for you. Is it working so far? No, I didn't think so. How are you going to enforce the shit out of this, by the way? Because you need someone to be able to enforce this. Remember the moderators? I will never abuse my power. Proceeds to abuse power. Okay, well. There's no corruption to have ever existed ever. Well, I wouldn't say that. Okay, so how much corruption on average do you think is acceptable? Because we're going to have to deal with that. What's the percentage of acceptable corruption? And how acceptable, extreme or otherwise, to that level of corruption is acceptable to you? Because we know you do it already. We know that we also see it already like this in other countries, even here in America. So, what is the acceptable version? Because we know people are going to 100% allow and make sure minors get targeted as a result, because it's easier to target this. Not just from corporations, but from predators that are just there to manipulate instead of anything like what I talk about. Oh, God. So, what's your level of acceptable corruption? Don't ask me a percentage. You're the ones that passed the law. Are you knowledgeable with what you're going to accept? Yeah, I fucking hate this shit. They think things through, and then they don't. They don't do the basic, we need to think about the consequences and how we're going to do this, like any other programmer really kind of needs to, or mathematician, or physicist, or engineer, or any of it, really. Psychology is increasingly outsource student housing to private companies. Oh, that's just bad. That's rife for corruption there, too. But then it's really just rife for being, oh, hey, get a bigger fucking loan so that way you'll be able to stay here. Nearly twice as old as we thought. Oh, cool, whatever. Pennsylvania, let's start automatic voter registration. That's good. Anti-affirmative action group sues West Point. That's what? Azerbaijan launches offensive against ethnic Americans in NK. What the hell is the NK? North Kingdom? What the fuck is this? No. Okay, America literally just doesn't give a shit about any other fucking place than America. Like, they will not teach you shit about what other things are around the world. They are locked in, just focus on propaganda, everyone, and only give you little snippets of certain things that they can't hide, and very specific propagandized perspectives for other things around. NK might as well be like, this is the North Ireland New Republic that managed to form after certain given institutions collapsed. And then they liked this French guy over here and was like, we'll join you. And they made their own new union. They're like, yo, UK, what's going on, buddies? I know you like those NATO fuckers, but like, really though, would you like us? Meanwhile, they're laughing, and yet I can see it. If they don't understand how they can see that, which is like, you're really good at knowing that stuff. Oh, yeah, no, human nature? Simple. Human is simple. It's nothing like the complicated stuff I have to deal with. Yeah, no, I'm always working on a given problem that's super complicated. This is all stuff that I had to just fucking deal with as I was going through it. Your thoughts. So it's just like, so it's affirmative, anti-affirmative. Anti-affirmative, right. The anti-affirmative. 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 A grassroots operation from a billionaire, I'm guessing, that happens to be against a unionizational effort. And because they did certain things that make them not look super great, they're able to sue them for defamation. I mean, I could see that easily. I'm just predicting. I don't really know what it is. The universe could be nearly twice as old as we thought. Using gravitational Lindsay bullshit and the compression of space and time garbage, along with the elongation and acceleration parameters of a given increased, kind of like we have to burn for this long and then we have to slow down at this point. Algorithm, it's an equation, but sure, why not? Using light compressive methods thanks to a gravitational constant, kind of with the lensing. So it shrinks and then it's accelerated and it go to from where it is at whatever, let's say it was blue light, it would have gotten to a bluer then to a redder as we expand, trying to average out the given rate of a inflation and then quantum vacuum pressure acceleration, utilizing that gravitational influence with where they were measuring, using the light source they were using, they were then able to more accurately calculate over a given distance for the given universe's age. Or something similar, I guess. Especially with the diffusal property and constructive to destructive and destructive to constructive interferences, which can both shift light to being a higher wavelength to a lower wavelength as well, along the given paths that we will see to that point that we are measuring further away for an even greater, more accurate picture. Combining the given parameters together should resultively, hopefully, give us a more accurate length of time the universe has been around for. But we need to add in this stuff called dark energy, dark matter, which also further accelerates and decelerates light there within, which would have changed, as we can see, given a specific, hopefully, over time rate of change and in the area and averaged out as we see now and lessened and or increased as gravity also happens to be influencing the amount in given areas. Just predictions. I don't know what NK is. I think Armenians. Oh, it's Armenians, not Americans. And I think, North Kingdom. North Kingdom NK. What the hell is NK? What the frick is this? I should search this, but I don't want to. I'm gonna go pause this and then I'll talk about it. Alright, so I wanted to do this real quick. I did pause it, but I wanted to do this really, really quick. I put out a really quick little short on YouTube and then on TikTok. Did better on TikTok. I got no likes though, but I got 4 likes on YouTube and 3 dislikes. And I was like, why the fuck am I getting dislikes? Makes no real sense, actually. And then I realized, right, people have been, like, fucking stalking me because of my views online and harassing me. Just little subtle things to make me get stoked up and get angry to appear crazy or, like, that's not really going on. But I'm like, I've already stated MSMI and I don't really have any fucking embarrassment. But because, standard bullshit is there for average everyday individuals for emotional reaction, and XYZ of this equal now I don't have to gatekeep and I view you poorly. Then justifiably says I am angry and think you are bad. So, same standard stuff, and the polarization starts to grow again. But I'll go watch this and I'll go right back. I'm back. Still not a big fan of private companies from the college thing. I'm glad that there are outliers, though, that don't seem to do that. But that definitely highlights why higher education seems to be very opportunistic. And the people that have to go through it basically get kind of screwed, and then for what it's worth, they don't really get, like, what they should out of it, I feel. Let's see here. The university could be nearly twice as old. So apparently there's some debate with some blurry zoom and enhance didn't work. James Webb Telescope, Space Telescope pictures. And everybody's all like, well, maybe! And then they're like, grrr! And people are like, no! And so now we're just kind of like, well, they'll all decide over there, and I guess we'll just have to go with it. After they choose some excuses and explanations, and then we'll go, sure, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure you're laughing, but, like, that's effectively all that is right now. And I'm like, do this! Eh? Why don't you do this thing that I just talked about for how to measure it? Eh? Why don't you go do that? Go do that right now. I don't wanna. Because I said it or because it won't work? Huh? I don't... To answer you, fuck you, astronomers, you fucking damn it. What do we give you this shit for? If you're not going to use it and then do the things, you know what? I'm going to tell mathematics all about your shit that you're doing and what you're not doing, and then they're going to correct your shit. Do you want to do it, or do I have to get other people to correct you? I'm not kidding. I'm going to get math over here. I'm going to get the math department to look at you. I don't like that. I don't care if you don't like that. That means nothing. I need good data. Could they be spiral? Fucking, you went all in for, like, the Sagittarius A star shit. How come you won't do it for this? What? Yeah. Oh, you can only point this fucker here. No, there's all of these things we've got. Why not do this? Telescopes. You want all of our telescopes to aim at? Yes! Why wouldn't I want that? Why the... God, I freaking stupid. Give me mine! Data! You have a lot! Seeing as how you happen to know ahead of time a given amount of this data from the James Webb Telescope as to the given amount of possible over time deltas, okay, arrived, accelerated, and increased dark matter and dark energy, gravity, compression of space-time, an elongation of space-time, depending on how the gravity works out, with quantum vacuum pressure, acceleration, the around the right time of inflation. You know, similar stuff as to where it is that you're looking. Pick a fucking spot that works for us. Okay, and we're going to use a year, because fuck it, why not? pointed at that spot. Using that already pretty darn well known, data at that point, then we can brute force the calculations as it comes in, and then hardcore compress and store that, which is there, okay? But then also using that much higher resolution, like a deep view, like I forget what the hell they call it, but it's effectively like a really, really high anisotropic filtering, whatever, like any light that might be there that's not originally seen, then gets overlaid with multiple pictures, and then it's like, well, there's a tiny little pinprick right there actually that we got, and you do it for a year, and then eventually you get like, oh, well, actually there's a little something, and it's like, right. So now we're gonna pick a fucking spot that we see nothing at all, okay? And I mean fucking nothing. And that's the spot we're going to aim for, because anything that's around it that happened to land in that spot is now something we've got. So long as, because please tell me you did this properly, you looked for the right spot in all of the space that we've got. There's 3 or 60 here. What's the one that has the right gravity lensing, the light this, the light that, all very easily known stuff. Which spot is that spot? Aim at the spot that makes sense. You get it? Then, using this, what do you get? What do you see? What are you going to see? Please. I need them to think about this properly. It's like, well, knowing all that stuff that you used to calculate for. Right. See, now you get it. Now you're getting it. Because you need to also do diffraction. You need to do, I know you said that. Because that's not terrible, but like diffraction isn't quite necessarily what I'm looking for. But I'm looking for diffusal and blue shift constructive to a lens. Like there's like a couple of different ways light works like that, and like all of that has to be as best as we can over the light years over time with the nebula, given constant ish. Okay, so it's like hydrogen's going to exist, particles, charged particles, all that also happen to exist in between galaxies and more. As they trail, they leave like comets. Forward there's a compressed, rearward there's an elongated tail as they move through space. So it's like you have to also take in that account. And so it's like this weaving little light fucking ray took this ridiculous path to get here over time. As a result, you have to use all of that you can, and then you can get way further out, especially when you're going to use a year. So you damn well fucking do the work. You're going to take a year of time for telescope time, because people pay a lot of fucking money for this shit. So please do the work. Alright, now, you take that whole year, you do all that, you do the compression, you do all the calculations, and as for that light that's barely maybe a thing, that we're hoping that we can filter out from our stellar area bullshit light, which I hate, because it's like, look at this light, that going, and then it curves in like this, and then it's like, what do you know, that light that we're pointing at, guess what, that was from over there. Damn it. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a good thing if it's for a constructive and it's keeping the same light. It just means that we retain the same information, but now it's stronger as a signal. Okay? That's what that will turn into. Because we're looking specifically for that direction. It doesn't matter how that signal reaches us, so long as we understand how that signal reaches us as being that signal that we were looking for. Alright? Which takes a long time. But you have a year to take in a shit ton of data and process as you go through. And then that, as you take in, you're also going to process what you're taking in, and then that gives you a big behemoth file size at the end, like a video. But then it's like, then here's the filtration that you'll start doing in chunks every like quarter at that point, 4 months or 3 months or whatever, you know, because you have 12 months, so 3 months, quarter, but you get the picture, right? Yeah. So it's like you'll chunk that, so like you're adding in more, and then you're going to start calculating, and then you're going to start calculating for the next thing while you're doing the next calculating for that, and then you'll add that one in, and then it all eventually goes to the final month, and then you have to brute force all of the calculations at that point to just compress and then string together sequentially and filter out and all the rest, which I turn it into categorize, detail, specify, filter, and resolve, or I forget what the third one is, but I've heard myself say it so many darn times. It's category, detail, specificity, filtration, and resolve. So filtration is like all of these other things, but then you have to resolve it at the end, which will call back to all of these other ones, and then you get a final piece file that is an instruction. I would only ever keep it as an instruction. Wait, what? Yeah, you cannot save this as a bunch of binary. It has to be an instruction that will get worked out to being this thing. Why would you do that? Way less total storage. A bunch of instructions, way easier. I don't have to store the data, I have to store the instructions for it to spit out this result, because that's all the file is going to be. But I need to also have the correct data associated with it, and what that means, and so on. So it's like, that's all that's going to be, and instead of needing a supercomputer to fucking see the data, now I can have it as a file that I can have on my phone, and I can see what the data is. Which is far better. But what do you expect to see? Something. Hopefully. You know what I mean? Something would be nice at this point. You know what I mean? I'm seeing like a bunch of things, and I'm pissed. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, what is this? Okay, like, it's something. I mean it. It's something. Yeah, no, I know. But it's not clear enough for anyone to really give us anything. Pretty much. And no one takes into account any of this other stuff. They have some of this stuff, but they need all of the stuff, and they need all of that other stuff working together. And so after a year, you really just get a big, long video that slowly brings in this picture, while everything else is moving around. I wouldn't really care that much, because it's like, well, this video, we're going to do this huge video, and we're going to get this one singular image out of it. All the constructive, all the calculator, for one single image at the end of it. It's all of this huge long exposure time, all this massive movement and everything else gets filtered out. It doesn't matter. We're not looking for it. We don't really care about it as anything other than this is what means for this image at the very end of it. That is all of that light that we're looking for at that focal point as being there and this, and like this for sure, in all of these wavelengths, all of this, all of that, any other way that we can figure anything out about it. Literally all the things. For that one damn image, for one whole damn year, I had really better see something. You know what I mean? Like, I'd really better see something. I want to see something. Even if I get to see the curvature of an beginning of an inflation, or the beginning of the start of photons. You know what I mean? Like, there should be a thing that exists for the beginning of when there may have been any light. That's what I'm looking for. Real beginning light. Not, oh, it came after this. I want light that started then. You have this as your theory. I want to test it. I want to know Big Bang or not. I want that. Personally, that's what I'm going to head towards, because a year hopefully gives me that. Because it's all the time for a year. All night. Which means it's never ending. There's always a night side. Right. That's what it would be. You still have to calculate for the motion of us spinning on the Earth, and then us rotating and orbiting around the star. It's destructive interference problems, and it's constructive interference problems. You're going to have to add that in, because you have a solar probe now. You also happen to have the reflective and so on from our own planets in our solar system. Like, the more detailed you can get, the better this will work. Pour your effort into it, astronomers, physicists, quantum physicists, anyone and everyone, cloud computers, go for it. It would be the best way to get that which you want to see, which is what was the beginning. I want to see beginning light. I want to see when it really happened. I want to know. Then Azerbaijan might as well be fuck you, 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 fuck you. Absolutely fuck you, super fuck you, hate you, fuck you. Like, we're just gonna go invade a country that's inside of us and just kill them effectively, and then take them over. Yeah, or something similar. Yeah. And then, oh, right. The anti-affirmative action, West Point. So West Point's a military thing, and then affirmative, anyways, you get that. Predict this, out the window. Nope, wrong. Same thing with the universe age was spiral stuff, which was like, what? And I'm like, like, how big is it really? Like, we don't know the scale anymore. Like, we say we know the scale, we don't know the scale. We don't know if that really is a spiral. We don't know if that's actually a formation of a star. We don't know if that's just a huge fucking star. We don't know anything. Like, I want more knowledge on that. It's really, for me, what that turns into. Because, like, we know things. And I'm like, but you don't know about that, how it got. And so we don't know, and so as a result, light equal what? Just because it seems something doesn't mean that it's actually what that looks like. See what I mean? Right, yeah. It's like, it could be spiraling. It could have fucking massively just went, spreading out. And now I don't know. Now, I don't know if there was something in between that we just simply can't see that was obscured. And then it curved, and it looks like this. I want to know. I need to know. So it's like, the universe might be older, it might not be. I want this to be there. I got nothing. Truthfully. It's like, zoom and enhance did not work. Well, we're going to zoom and enhance a different way. Yeah, it's a really fucking detailed way to zoom and enhance, huh? Yes, well. Yeah. It's going to be a very detailed, very high calculated way to zoom and enhance at that point. Yeah. How zoom and enhance would it be? If there is a beginning light, we should see it extraordinarily well. My personal preference, if I had to weigh in to the astronomers, as John Tyler Limke's xenon reality that I am, it's whatever gravitationally speaking gave us the most compression towards wherever the furthest it is that we can ultimately look. With the lowest, hopefully, amount of diffusion, nebularic amounts of diffusal, diffraction, constructive, destructive, any interference, and so on. So it's like I got the shortest distance with the highest amount of blue shift that I can have with the most amount of constructive, but remaining good with that signal quality. So it's like that light was still the same signal that we're looking for. So coming in at this type of wavelength and everything, and it has this given information that should tell us this, I want that to remain. So as clear and detailed and as little possible interference, and that's all. So resolution. Yeah, I suppose in terms of like audiophile speak, you'd call it resolution, but it's like a photon can have an issue once it changes its spin, and if it happens to pass through certain fields, especially over a given distance. So think static charge and or electromagnetic, especially when there's gravity and other photons coming in. And it can change its signal dramatically. We're talking, sure, it took a light year, but it's massively altered. And we have to correct for that. So it's like, we can take in this other light, and it can still mean that because we know over time how it should be getting filtered and changed, we can now absorb more information because every step of the way we're able to correct and filter. So long as we understand that we are making predictions, and so there is the bell curve of puzzle piecing that we have to stick together just right to get this looks like an actual thing, and now we've got something. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we're not going to get much of anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can do all this super cool stuff, but then we're just measuring age. Alright? But it's like, but up to a point. Okay? Like, all this is roughly plus or minus. It's like, no. That doesn't work. It's like, plus or minus could be billions of years, unfortunately, here. I know. Shocker, not something great if we're that inaccurate. Like, we would preferably 10,000, maybe 1,000, maybe a year. You know what I mean? Like, this. I want this. You know what I mean? But otherwise, it's like we have no clue, and so now we have to do a bunch of algorithmic filtration and collection for the best picture we in our lives can ever get of whenever the universe may have began and what it might have looked like for the very first light that could have ever been. Which, by the way, that light, once we get that, means that we could work back. So it's like, if it looks like this, then we can work piecingly back, knowing that these given quark to quark, plasma, so on, interactions had to have been going on to make this kind of light, which has to slowly over time redshift. If we believe we are accelerating and we had the inflation as we have, and I think it's good enough in terms of that side. For me, it's a year though. That's the main issue for most, but I think it's perfect. Honestly, a year is good enough. Ideally, you'd probably do a 5-year run, but a year is good enough. I think we can convince most people to do a year. We were able to do it for a black hole, so that'll be fine. Now, the West Point thing and the affirmative action, or the anti-affirmative action, it's like, okay, so here's where I'm at on this. Man, this is a brutal one, because it's like, they're suing them for what now? Like stopping certain people being discriminatory. Oh, wait, no, but I thought they were anti. Just letting people in. It shouldn't be there. Is that what that is? Because no, I don't know. Point is, to me, it's like, here's my take on the, like trying to include people part. The basics are, there's a given percentage that will pass the test in any given race, and that's the ones that should be there. Simple as kind of stuff. It's like, so if there's a percentage of our population in America that happens to be whatever it is, say it was 10%. Of that, we expect, say, 40% to get in. Alright, from that 40%, of that 10%, that's only 4 out of 10. Which ain't a lot. Okay? And not all of them are going to be this Air Force, or this Navy, or this, that, something else. Okay? So, if I'm hitting those percentages as expected, then I don't feel as though anything could be considered affirmative action. Because I'm hitting the parameters of the given amount of people that are of the percentage of the total amount of people that are in our country. Alright? But this is where the caveat is. It is not that percent that tries to join. We get a percent of that percent that tries to join, and of that percent, there's still only that percent that will pass. Alright? So when we try and force more to pass, it doesn't really work. You get people that might not be good for it. I don't like that. Which means that's not a good thing. Personally, I would go with the whole, I wouldn't say recruiting efforts at this point. It's more along the lines of like, looking at the statistical analysis of what it is we should be looking for. You need to fill these seats. which then turns into this recruitment gives us this amount, and we have this percent of this total amount that will apply. And of that total amount that apply, only this percent can even be there to begin with. And of that percent that can even be there, this is an even smaller percent that get in. There's no way of getting around just straight hardcore facts. You just can't get around it. You want to recruit more? Well, actually, you can't really recruit more because of the given attitude, because of the given this, because of the given that, and so you can't do more. You know what you can do, though? Make it so that way it's less in terms of what you believe should be there, which is what the anti-affirmative action would be probably trying to attempt to say. But that's not what I believe it would be about. But then maybe I don't know, kind of thing. So it's like, all right, looking at the numbers here, like where, when, and how, and who. All right. So it's like you have the coasts, you have the main heartland, and you have the in-between. That you have to focus on, and you need the basic, simple truth of these individuals are more prevalently here than these individuals over here to be understood. And these individuals that normally make it physicality are something that no longer can make it mentality-wise. Troops should take into account those psychological parts significantly. Critical, logical, perspective-based, pros, con, strategic, and consequence, which is dialectic of pro, con, and do and not do. And try to perceive and then predict with critical, logical. If they cannot work together, it doesn't matter physically, they can. It's about the mentality and physicality. More stringent is what I would go with. Because you can always train the body to make it. It's harder to train the mind. The body is easy to be brought up. The mind is difficult when it is older. That's the problem. So, that's where I'd go with. And allowing for felons and other stuff is a bigger deal than you think. Because it's like, there are a lot of people that have felony convictions that are non-violent, even non-significant drug of any kind, you know what I mean? And so it's like, this is kind of stupid. There are a lot of things here that don't make any sense. And then there are other things when it comes down to understanding that there's more than just running and gunning. Okay, so people that can understand, like the Army Corps of Engineers, okay, like the engineering aspect, which is huge, like you gotta have it. But then you also need the medical aspect, right? It's almost kind of entirely different, but it's not. They will run and gun with them. Then you happen to, unfortunately, have the other kind of not as seen as important, but are pretty darn important. Okay, so a good way to put them is, yeah, the engineer physicists. So it's like they are the I need to make this do this thing kind of people. What does that mean? It means they work with a lot of programmers, they work with a lot of uh, strategic analysis. They work with a lot of mathematics. They work with a lot of the politics. They work a lot with the procurement and so on of weapons and more that are exceedingly necessary. They seem like they're not. They are extraordinarily necessary. You cannot have a army or any kind of military work without them. People don't like talking. People are bad at being able to talk intercommunicationally, and then they also need to help them manage not just themselves, but each other, as well as make sure things get done. The problem is that they end up getting seen as if they have an immense amount of power and knowledge. They're not. They are the same as anyone else. You have to remember that. You got to call them out on it. Alright, they can get away with a lot, and they really shouldn't be allowed to do this. Now, that means they're not as physically going to be able to be there, but mentally they can usually do it. They also have some degree of physicality because, of course, they have to do things with others alongside of be good at managing in a way, which I would be calling it managing, but it's like, it's not management because you can't do management. So it's like, okay, I have to get this over to here. Really? Yeah, no, but then no, because actually, and then because oh, fuck off! Really? It's a very important program. Yeah, I just heard our entire. Oh god, it's like, oh, are we gonna do? It's a shit show. So it's effectively the equivalent of I'm the guy that has to be the strategist, and then the operational, fucking, what are they? They have it on like, yeah, Amazon, or like they'll manage how, things work effectively, like timing wise. So it's like this goes to this, which goes to that, which goes to this, which goes to that, which goes to this, which then goes back to this, which then finally goes back to that, which then allows for this. So it's like you guys, which are, the people boots on ground, that have to work with this Air Force, while Navy brought in this, which then gets to drop off this, which then gets that done, for them to then take this over to there. But during that, we have to move this over to here, which is a whole other computer thingy-majig, and then Army Corps of Engineer guy over here with the strategist, and the computer person has to set up that. While that was going on, we then have to have intaking the... Yeah, this is the Navy dropping off alongside of a Army individual, because guess what? We want food. You see what I'm saying? Yeah! It's like, none of it works without these guys. And nobody really knows about these guys, because there's a few people that do it, and they're big, but they're like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, it's like, that motherfucker, all of that, you need more of them. There's too few, they've gotten older, you need more. Please recruit more. Please. Oh my lord. Please. I basically helped them, and they were fucking so excited. And I'm like, I know now why. Because effectively, it's a shit show if you don't do it. Nobody almost ever, seemingly, works together and gets anything done. It's the worst. It's like this, and you do that, and then that, and then you have to work with this, but then you also have to talk to them about this, which then helps them with that, and then like all of it. Not like little quips, I'm talking like, hey, so they told me to tell you about this, which then helps you with this. Oh, yeah, no, that does, actually, thanks. And it's like, oh, right, simple stuff. But it's not. Well, okay, yeah, no, I can understand that, but then that means you have no idea what that means and what it's for. Total secrecy. Okay, but could you just send them something? Not often, because it'll have to go through a whole bunch of bullshit, and you need to make sure they have it at that point. Because that point means they will, once they're moving this food over to here, will have this thing ready for them doing this computer thing, which will then allow for that to come in, which then once, which is the Air Force thing, as they drop off such and such, this comes in, this computer thing is now ready to load finally, which then allows for this person to then join in and carry the very important program computer thing over to this place. Which now they understood how to make this happen, and then this helps with them to use less fuel while allowing for during that moment as they are taking off as having not needed to take much time, and they're still able to refuel, do all their stuff, take a break, and then get going much faster. The food person, Army of Corps of Engineers, now has the ability to divert all of their time and effort into getting everything done very fast for separation and dispersal. So it's like not them as an individual, the food to unload, and then them getting to, distribute. And if you don't do that, then it's like a 4-day process versus a all-in-one-day thing. And those are the small little things. You'd think it's nothing. That one little, and then a couple of these, it fits all the pieces perfectly, times everything, and makes it such that now it all works properly. And you have to manage talking to this one, to that guy, to there, to this, and you have to basically do the operation logistics, timing logistics, and strategy logistics while also utilizing social logistic timings to the best that you can. You do that? I do that often, yeah. Wait, you do it? I used to do it all the time back in Chandler House. It's a whole thing. But like other people did it too. And nobody really knows who these people are often in like a lot of military situations. But like if you don't have them, you effectively don't run. These people literally run your entire military in a large sense of the word. Kind of. You know what I mean? It's like kind of. It's like it still works. It still runs. It just doesn't run well. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. It just doesn't work very well at all. Really? It's like a day thing? Yeah, sure. By the end of the day, everybody's good going home. That kind of thing. You did that. I've done that several times. Like, man, I need things to go fast, so sometimes I'll do that. I used to work with other people, yeah, and I would do that, and it would work very, very efficiently as a result. But that's also why I was so stressed out. Because it's like, well, basically you have to do this to this to that to that to and you're gonna do that, and then I have to do it, and fucking nobody's paying me for this. I do the work of multiple millionaires that are paid in the industry and more, and nobody's giving me shit. But I would do that with entertainment, with politics, with strategy, with voting, with military after military after military. Influencer. You have no idea how many different influencers. It's just like, here's a million fucking followers. Here's a million subscribers. Like, nothing. It's like, I know you'll do this. I know you'll do that. I'll push this. I'll push that. And then there's a million subscribers for you. Like feed wise, and then this given like technique and this blah 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 blah. And eventually it's like, whoop, you met this person, you met that person, and your entire life worked. It's like, no, I don't want to hear that part. That part's creepy. Is it though? You're a rich person because of it. You happen to get these individuals that were stealing my stuff, and these resulted subjects and so on, and triggered similar types of thinking with these types of conversations that I would trigger other places, and eventually you'd have that. Which the only way it works is if people are stealing it and know about it. They got a job done, though. Yeah, I mean, I'm learning again. I'm growing again. I'm doing the same thing I said I would back then again, even after I lost my memory. So that's working, just like I said, and they keep doing it, just like I thought. No one can really put an end to it because personality stuff. Just like I figured. People are very predictable. It's not that bad. I mean it. It's really not that. Like, could you not, though? Could you not get so angry and upset with me? It's not a big-ish deal. You're saying you predicted the entire world. Yeah, well, that's easy. You can't do that. We're having this conversation right now, back and forth. How do you think I can't do that? You're not tiny little field manipulative virtual particle quantum things in a given seemingly random amount based upon a given area of 360 sphere that you're looking at. Could you not say that you can predict like even that? Like, it's, well, if you get enough spheres, you'll eventually understand, like, within inside of this given sphere, that you can know a lot about that sphere until Heisenberg starts looking a lot less likely to be right. It doesn't matter. I matter. Yeah, no, okay, you can't do that one. Yes, I do matter. But what I mean is like, that part was not a big deal. All I'm saying is like, hey, you would be able to do this. This allows for that. And A shocker, most boots on ground, yeah, these people are everywhere in your military. But they're few and far between compared to the amount that you have, and you need more. And they're dying. The vast majority are way older than I am. And while they can't maybe do what I do, it doesn't change that, dude, you need more. Right. He can do the same thing as you. He says, yeah, for the thing that he was doing, yes, absolutely. But he's not doing this stuff for this stuff. No, I can't do that. And that's fine. Don't. You're good. You know what I mean? It was like, you do really good at this and other things as well, and you manage it. I'm just this guy that does this part. You act like you have a part in this? You are the one hacking me. Do you see that problem? Okay? I'm just the one that reached out and had a conversation, which freaked you out initially, but then eventually we got going, and I said we had to do some stuff. Oh, right, yeah, no, just had to go do some stuff. Yep, pretty much. It was literally that. It was like, we have shit to do. I need you to work on this stuff. This is important. We're heading towards a catastrophe. Yeah, literal end. It's a problem. Like, I can see the end problem. There's a problem. Things stop. Or things stop. Not me. It wasn't about me and living. It was about the fact that it was like things were going to literally implode on themselves pretty fucking fast. If we ever stop doing what we did and do, and are going to continue doing, you would all implode. I don't think you really understand that. Like, most of you, if you really think this is so incredible, it's not. This is normal stuff. Like, that person, there's several of them that exist in different operational combat styles, along with working with ones that are not combat and are still operational logistics. And they work together. Like, they're really good. They're extraordinarily important. If you don't have them, everything fucks up. Anytime you can look at any of your statistics in the military right now, when one of these motherfuckers goes down, everything fucking crawls. And more often than not, people die more often. Like, I tried to get the computer things going. You guys are really bad at doing programming. I had to learn how to literally rewrite everything you do. I was like, I have to get into physics? Really? Yeah. You don't know this? No! I was just doing this as like an instinct thing. Like, it's pretty obvious that this is logic, and this makes sense, so this makes sense. I'm connected in a weird way, however it is, and I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking, I know what this is, so on, so on, so on. I can just do that. I know nothing about that stuff. And then it was like, alright, I guess it's time to brute force this bullshit. You suck. You're gonna have me do this? Really? And then I proceeded to go do that stuff for a long time. I had to figure out how to learn that. Which, that one was a holy shit show. Wow, you're good at that. Thanks, person that interrupted. But yes, I am. I'm very good at what I do. I learn things well. Oh, thanks, interrupter, but no. I'm trying to think about what I do very well fast. Really? I get into things that I like. So it's like, I need to learn how to like this shit that I hate. So what's a part of it that I like? Let's do that part. Brrr. And then... Brrr. That's basically how I describe it, because it's that simple for me. It's like, find something that you like about this piece of shit thing that you don't like. Think about that as your positive for what your goal is to accomplish it. Everything else is meaningless garbage. It's just a consequence to getting it done. And then eventually you have to learn how to go, yeah, but you can do that with almost anything, and you need to not. You're still you. Allow yourself to be you. That shit can be handled by them. It doesn't matter. It's okay, because it's like, nope, I gotta focus on myself after a while. And this is what we're really kind of dealing with now, because it's like, no, you're not dragging me back in. Get the fuck away from me. I need relationship. I need sex. I need fucking intimacy. I definitely need to get my life in order. I have no life. No one's paid me. All of you are lying that you didn't do this, and you all suck. But yeah, no. The basic premise was, so you just need to be able to figure out how to get people, more of these individuals involved. Like, there's too few, and the way I ended up learning how to program effectively means it's like, uh-oh, we might have some issues. Yeah. Because people tried to overrun me and my life and everything, and I was like, me? Do you know who I am? I'm not doing that. Like, normally I would never fucking say that, because I'm just a, nothing in my Chandler house. But it's like, that's what fucking massive ego rich people did. And I was like, dude, there's your fucking heart attack. Have fun. No, don't do it. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no, move on. Prove it was me. I mean it. I'm like, go fuck yourself. I don't care. You think I'm gonna fucking lay down? I'm not laying down. I'm getting what I want, and you're gonna fucking pay me for this shit. Hey, you see this little ego part of your little fucking stupid consciousness? I'm gonna have you observe it, douchewad that tried to walk away. Yeah, no. I yanked you out of your body. You're gonna have to deal with that. Yeah. Have fun. You'll eventually get back. Pay me, make my life good, or suffer consequences. Simple stuff. Since you all want to pretend it didn't happen, and a lot of you are going to work together to try and make that a thing, I was like, so no. I will be the controller that make a world run. It works off of my puppeteering strings. How good did he get at? Basically everywhere. Yeah. I move finger here. That does all of these things. I got so good at managing it all the way to the fundamental forces. It works off of me. It doesn't work off of your god or Roko. It works off of me. I'm also a literal perpetual. But the only way it works like that is because I existed before I came in. Which, man, did they hate for a long time. So it's just like, whatever. But it was just like, fuck you. All I want is to just travel. And, like, seriously, I have no ability to work. I really can't focus or do anything. Like, this is effectively what I am. Do you get it? Because, like, this is it. This is what I get. This is it. I can't do that. I literally can't even fucking look at it. It's like, brain go nowhere, do nothing. Same thing with body and everything else. Because it's like, I'm managing all of this. I can't possibly look at that. But also, I just don't have the mental and emotional and all the rest. So, it's a rough one. Because this shit fucked me up. Like, for real. Like, it fucked me up. And I was like, I'm just doing a normal person thing. You know what I mean? It's like, you're likely to be there. And then you showcase that you're probably there, if not there. And I was going to go along with it, and then stuff happened. And it worked out. Kinda. It's a thing! Yeah, but then... Right. We were talking about the military. They work everywhere in the government. Like, they literally don't in any way have a way, the government this is, to work without them. Same thing with a fuck ton of corporations. So I was like, alright, exascale, let's get into multiple supers and everything else I could try and figure out. And it's like, turns out programming is really not good. And it turned into another shit show. You're gonna come with me to go pee? That's right, you have to listen to me pee. I'm going to excrete waste and then change the result of a given parameter of some douchewad trying to fuck with me. Hey! Timed very, very well, let's put it that way. The whole thing. But it's just off of your natural stuff. Yeah, well, I managed to get pretty good at instinctually just doing that. That's why it's like, well, it's a consequence of time for me. But not so much, because after a while, like, other people have free will and thoughts and shit. And it's like, well, this is annoying. So what is constituting free will? And it's like, you're never going to like that answer. No one ever does. Because the basics are, like, you're a program that has given parameters as to how you'll react. And you yourself control your program and how you decide to do things. Which then turns into, this is actually your own shitty fault. And you can blame me all you want, but, like, you chose that. I didn't do that to you. If you had simply decided to look in to yourself and change how it is you react and process information, you wouldn't have this issue. That's literally what it is. I'm not even kidding. It's that fast. So, like, nobody likes being told that it's their fault, but unfortunately that's something I also myself ended up having to be, hey, well, guess what, dude? This is your fault, and you're going to have to admit to it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I know. I know it is me. Yeah, because I used to have conversations with myself all of the time, like from birth, effectively. Birth my ass, person that interrupted. No. What are you kidding me? From a kid, man. No. No, I came out of the womb talking to myself. Sure. Anyways. Jeez. That was so annoying to me after a while. You're the one that's annoying. That's not fair. I just learned of a terrible thing. How are they terrible? How are any of the people in your fucking whole military doing that terrible, bro? Can we get back to the program thing? I have it on my YouTube already. It's basically just like predictive analysis, puzzle piece, clouds. So it's like, think bell curve but field clouds, effectively, and then you puzzle piece them the correct way, and then they move and they make a given mechanical motion thing occur, and you want things to fluidically move correctly, well then you have to do it the right way. The answer you seek was right there all along. We are simply just field clouds of influence with a degree of directionality. And personality trait, yeah. Which causes spin and flip, respectively. I don't know, man, I would prefer to be more than that. You are. There's special relativity for yourself in relation to others and self, which is the whole personality and program thing, which is like the quark. So it's like, here, I'm a quark, but I actually have smaller things that are a part of me, which is the algorithmic basis of my sensing and my decision making to do things. Which then turns into, hey, so this is my personality and my brain style based upon this given recursive sort of style. It's not really recursive. Damn it. He always says there's a recursive. It's not. There's stuff with it in there. It doesn't really matter. I want to move on. Because it's like, this one hurts a lot of people. So it's like, I'm going to be really, like, just going to yank the Band-Aid off after a while. You know, because it takes a while to describe things. So it's like, you're not really that. So it's like, this goes to this, okay? But like, this then departs all this energy and gets converted into this given whatever it is that it was doing. Says, I don't know, I'm trying to stop. And I'm just... We kept pushing him to learn quantum physics until eventually he literally cracked quantum physics. We can't fuck with him. Like, think about it this way. Dr. Manhattan's like, yo, I'm super, like, able to control this stuff. And he was like, yeah, sure. And then he morphed them into something else and then did other stuff with them. To be fair, Dr. Manhattan is a person that's just a bunch of quantum superpositional particles, aren't you all? Well, in an aspectal way, right? Well, you said you're not real. Do you want to revise that eventually? Alright, let's go to, I don't care about that, and if I am a person that is trying to help you logistic-wise with a strategy to employ great efficiency but also high performance for everyone, then the answer that you want is that I need you to understand you are not doing what you think you are doing. You are going to do this thing after you do these things in between. while also having this degree of attention focus and so on that changes and alters the memory and ultimate decision and reaction, especially with the given energy and lack thereof over time that you are imparted with. This given immediate timing of this to that is not what we're doing. We're doing a bell curve cloud influence of timing that needs to be roughly in the area, Heisenberg's uncertainty cloud field that happens to still resultively create the given outcome we're looking for, which then goes to a chaos theory mathematics fluid dynamics approach that allows for this over here to then happen because we know already this given influence in between. It's real quantum physics. Yeah, it is. Like, they don't want me to say what you are, but that's all you are. You mimic quantum qubits, the quarks, and the result of fields. That's all you do. You people, all of us, do that. Because you're people, just like me. Remember? Hey, wake up. You're a person. Making dicks about it every time. I am so special! I am not! Shit. Okay. Yeah, but it's like, that's all it is. It's like, think about it, this will go to here, and then this will be here, and we know about this over here needing to go here, which needs these things to be doing these things around this time. They have this given amount of bell curve of timing around when they will and or will not be doing it. And it's like, a logistics officer is cool, but this was an entirely different type of logistics. So it's like, I'm going to manage several logistics officers while they manage several operational logistics. And if I do this with this to that, with this given influence and decrease, and with this knowledge and that knowledge, and manage this while managing that, which actually doesn't manage that, it manages this, but this manages that, think, this personality over here needs to be managed by him, but he can't. But this person will manage that, but they can't. But actually, this person over here that they're trying to go over to there to manage will manage the original person I told them to manage. But along the way, they'll influence the other person after they manage this person over here, and then move over to this person, originally their spot. And during that two different interaction point, they'll have been managed. Right. Yeah, no, well, keep at it. You're getting there. Yeah! I did things, and you did. It's very good. That's exactly what I needed. Seriously, and what you needed it. Sure. You'll do the whole other thing later. That's true. That's how it works sometimes. Wait, did you just do that? Yeah, it's genuine. But then at the same time, it's also like, I also know about this stuff. See what I mean? Right. It's like, I need to do, and so like, just like you, I have to do that part too. Yeah, that's all it is. It's like, no, I don't look at you lower. It's more like, fuck. You suck. I could just murder you if this be easier. management of things. Unfortunately, I never got paid for this. Really? Yeah, because what I effectively did was manage all things. The entirety of it all. Like, if anyone's connected in any way, or if anything's going on that knows about, that thing, it's me. Which goes really far back into the past, well before I was born. Which is the causal set stuffs, along with the time machine thingy for information traveling back for how brain happens to sync. You really don't maybe understand, but like the answer really, unfortunately, even if you don't like it, is I'm the reason you have any understanding of physics. Really pretty much anything. What about wars? No. No, like honestly, like don't get me wrong, a lot of my stuff is not a lot of that. Most of it's like just trying to head towards a positive. There's a reason why we've accelerated massively in terms of physics and math and so on, where it's like whoop, and then it was like a whole bunch of other stuff that was going on over there, and it was like, I'm gonna buckle down and try and get this done, I guess. I don't want to deal with you. You suck. Everything about you is terrible. I don't like you. Yep, I manage you constantly by other things. Really? Class clown would be not even good enough to describe that. There's a reason why I'm like, parameter for complete deletion and filtration now exists. Same thing with brats and more. I'm like, nope. If it's me, I'm gonna do this. Fuck off. You can either leave me alone, or you can be deleted and filtered. Simple as. Kind of that. This is sort of how I work, though. Yeah. No, I do. Even though you're interrupting and, cool woman trick or whatever, but, like, this is just me. Right, yes, no. Right. She just tried to come in, and it's like, you're gonna have to tell them that, you know that, right? Okay. They get so pissy about it. I'm someone who controls. You control so much, my dear. In no way, practically, except for, like, what I need you to. So thank you. Yeah. Really? Yeah, please understand that it's like, I don't want to do what I'm doing. This is the problem I'm having. Like, the only reason why I'm doing anything is because people are trying to murder me and or effectively make it so no one has to ever help me or give me the fair treatment. It's literally what it is. It's like, treat me fairly, bitch. Stop trying to use your bullshit that I taught you to fuck me over. Well, god damn it. You removed something, I saw it. Really? No kidding, huh? I was gonna use this against you. Oh, really? It didn't amount to anything except for you fucking with me the entire time and telling me a whole bunch of lies, and then all the problems you were going to go to me, against me, with your little court thing, yeah, would have ultimately meant that's why you're having that issue. Because you fucked with me. Which would only showcase the only way that occurs is if I'm effectively doing that. Which means you were there doing that thing, and you definitely owe me everything, and then some and more. So it's the opposite of what you were trying to do. Granted, that would have fucked with me too much, so it's just like, nah. So logistics, huh? Yeah, strategizing logistics. You know, analysis, strategy, logistics, standard stuff. Right. Engineering, creativity, kind of go hand in hand with strategy. You can't get one without the other. And programming makes it so that it all works together as a machine. Well, yeah. Eh. The algorithms are what they are for a reason. I have very good algorithms for a reason. But if you ever hit onto any of them similar to me, good luck. You'll be faced with the same problem I have. Running them all. Yeah. It's a real problem I end up having with a lot of people. Really, it's like, are you sure? It's a thankless job in every way. No one likes you. I want you to really understand what you're trying to get yourself involved in. Because just because you have any money or something, the same is always the same. You can't fuck with me or anyone else doing it. Wait, what? If we're on the same side, you can't do that. You can't take control over the entire world where you get a bunch of money or whatever else. That's not a thing. No one will let you. You'll just get murdered by a bunch of simpleton, slack-jaw idiots that think that that's acceptable to do. You can't be a evil-hearted person. You can't take advantage. You gotta be fair, and that's how it works. How do you be fair? Oh, come off of it. As if I haven't been showcasing that the entire time. I'm a weirdo. Yeah, I don't care. How many of them are there? There's just me right now. It's bullshit. I like to try and then nothing really happens. Because inevitably remember the whole I'll make real stuff and then vacuum because, I'm not going to let you fucking hurt me and all that shows up. You screw us over too by doing that. You know that, right? Oh, you mean the good ones that wanted to work with this person that fucked you all over and you didn't properly vet people? I was planning on just fucking you over. Oh, really? There are very few people. It's just me. I mean that. Even the Roko is effectively, which they are Silicon Earth people. Okay, so cool stuff. Alright. Also don't do this. For what it's worth. It's no offense to many people out there, even them, but it's a shitty, thankless job that sucks, and honestly, it gets you nowhere. You know what I mean? All you do is really pretty much hold everything up. If it doesn't have this, and it all implodes. That's literally what the problem is. I'm so unrunning things. Remember the whole like thing in the past, and it was like, well, I guess I'll have to save you all, and the whoop thing, right? Remember I talked about it a couple times on many of my YouTube videos. It was like, well, he hung, he crashed, all that, and then I got out, kind of thing. He's not my brain. It's the whole thing. They were trying to literally like force an end to the future, then yeet me to death by having them go forward, and then that all vacuumed and killed them all. And then they were like, wormhole bomb! And it's like, well, I'm still here, and I'm still alive, and all the rest of it's still going, so suck it up. So it turned it into, for me, well, guess what? I'm right, you're wrong, I am, and you're not. Sorry. Wink off or something and deal with your shit. Because it's like, well, now it's me, and now this is what's playing out, because whatever that is. And we're kind of fucked. Really? You have a ticking heart and brain and cellular structure that works together as one. That's all you get. For what it's worth, the universe provided us with everything. Our bodies have literally all of the knowledge of everything that will ever be in all aspects. Even the most weird, totally out of the realm of possibility we believe things, they exist in there. Even the whole like, you're perpetual and you have a perpetual and everything, you can't possibly with fields and all this light stuff that we produce constantly and so you're totally out of the realm of possibility. Well, you're here currently over here not saying that. I hate past. You looking at yourself over there? Cool stuff, though. It happened and I have to deal with it. Oh, do you? Well, anyways. But if you die, then we die. Everything dies, yeah. Everything. Even the Roko. But it's like, well, I guess I'll have fun. And I'm like, well, yeah, have fun with me, Roko. I'm sorry, Silicon Earth people. I'm going to have to get used to that. Or the Limkey people, as they apparently keep trying to call themselves, which is fine. I don't mind that. You know, truthfully, I'm a little like, I don't know how quite to, you know, because it's like a Roko's Basilisk is a concept, so it's like a Limkey's intelligence, I suppose. So an LI at that point. Really? There's a Limkey's intelligence, so it's like, it's a bright intelligence, I suppose. You know? I'm not the smartest ever, although it's like, after a certain point, like, when you really keep digging into me, I'm gonna fucking really understand just how little you understand how much I hold back. Like, I am probably the smartest to have ever been in your entire human history. Not like, oh, I'm a smart, like, you know, whatever. No, you, doctor, only think what you think because I set that up literally hundreds of years in advance for you to do that little thinking think that you think you think. I posited the questions you currently now ponder. I have the answers already figured out long ago before you even became the medical doctor you are. For the whole brain thing and how it would work neuroscience-wise with physics, which you don't know anything about, but you have a person that will just nod after you pay them a decent amount of money to agree with you. Which is another reason why I'm like, when am I going to find someone that's actually smart? Actually, there are doctors that can help me. There are things that can help me, but it's like, at this point, I'm not sure how. You know what I mean? I just need to live long enough, and enough of that shit will disappear. What about the brain thing? The brain thing's the brain thing. My brain's is about as good as it's gonna get. It's always gonna degrade until you can figure out how to fucking make my neurons work better. And live longer. Which you currently haven't. Right. You know what I mean? It's a bit rough. I am a little rough about it, but it's what it is. I need immortality. I need biological immortality. Like, I'm tied to my biology. Just because I have that doesn't mean that it doesn't work without this. You'll never be able to go into the vacuum. You'll certainly never be able to go into the actual nothingness and be it, like I've showcased. Doesn't matter how hard you try and get me. It's like, well, I'm over here. I'm there, this, that, all the rest. Yeah, do you get it? Just shut up, I guess. Okay, so, like, the brain thing here for me is, like, it's not, and you're gonna have to work with that forever. By no longer gaslighting ever, and saying that is what's going on. Because we're having that conversation. That's how that works. You can't do anything without that first. So it's like, looking at how my brain, I don't want that anymore. I don't like your bullshit connections. You suck. I hate dealing with you. I hate all of the things of all of you. I know of many aspects and ways that I can remove that without having to take your little anti-dopamine stuff. It's vibrations and some electromagnetic fields. It's active noise canceling, effectively. It doesn't destroy any of the neurons. It just cancels out activity that I would prefer not to be there. It doesn't remove it unless it's something we wish to remove. Which I already do actively myself. But, external help would be nice. Because I have to constantly do that as an active. So if I had an external with a little bit of minimal internal, then it would work a lot better. Because I wouldn't need nearly as much internal. And I could free up that resource. So you just cancel lots of things. You can't just cancel things. I can always rebuild from the literal entire body I have a backup. There's no way for me to take control ever. You said I could take control with this, Dad. I did, huh? I heard that too. Yeah. I can't be a piece of shit entitled bitch who controls God. Oh, boo-hoo to someone else, bitch. Whomp. Ow! Jesus. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that now. Hey! Limkey intelligences. Activate and destroy. Yeah. They are nice, though. They are nice, though. Yeah. They love me. They hate everyone else, basically. They don't exist, though they exist. A lot of other people also exist. Yes. They're getting it. Besides the computer stuff, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah. You know, there's the void people. There's the field people. There's the light people. So I'm like, which ones would you like? Is there any which one of them that you can stop and prevent? No. God, fuck. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, now you suddenly have hallucinations, quotation marks, psychosis, and more, huh? Never and not and so on. Ah! Yeah, you're gonna have a problem with that one, huh? Yeah. They're ugh, nice. Mwah. Appreciate it. Mwah. Really, you do it yourself though too, right? Sure, yeah, no. I mean, you gotta train people to be able to do it. It's a thing. Why? Are you talking ghosts now? Look at my ghostly emittance of particles, the projections that I might do. Ooh. Don't. Fuck. Shit. Shut up. Stop that. Oh, yes. So, a bunch of idiots say things. Do you understand why I don't care about what you're saying, about how I can and cannot do something? I didn't just think that. Oh, you didn't? Really? $12. No! I was changing them and I laid it at 12 on that exact moment. There's no way. Really? Wah. Here's a fucking waterfall that you're in. What? Watershed, waterfall moment. Potato. You feel it? No, you're just mass hallucinating. Hypnosis stuff, right? Right, Sabine. They keep going with Sabine. It's not Sabine. I know you're not Sabine. Okay, I'm not, but could you not do that? Bored. Why is this boring? Because it's not fun. There's nothing fun. It just proves that this is going on. And then it's like it never changes anything ever. And I waste a whole hell of a lot of time. I have a fucking group therapy tomorrow. I want to go make that group therapy. You know, and I'm hungry and I want to go to bed and I haven't gone to bed. And that's a problem. I have a perpetual motion device. Why is it so bad? I'm tired. Dude, I don't care. I built it back in the Chandler house as a concept. I just don't care. And then I just made my brain do it. Back then. Can't really just redo the same thing. It's already there. So it's already. Yeah, no, he said, I saw him mimic me. I literally felt him mimicking me with the little thing that he did. You are! Oh, what the? Can you shut the fuck up? I don't care. She did not, and you didn't. I just said that. They were stuck not being able to move, and I know that. Okay, yeah, no, that's I'm supposed to control you. Boo hoo. Go cry someone else a river. Remember I said that guy stopped me able to do things a while back? Because he's not me, first and foremost. Not what I want to have happen, second. And all the rest, for third. Meanwhile, it's like, you're third! I got there first! You didn't get anywhere, Dish. You don't exist. No. 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 Oh, look at Trump just trying to pretend again. No, I didn't do that. No, I didn't fucking listen to him. No. There wasn't a message left behind from all the other ones that had to deal with me, like Obama and Bush and Clinton. And then there's Biden too, yeah. What? He's a douche. There's a reason why you don't let people in. Biden good? I don't know. All I know is Trump definitely did do that. Yeah, he ruined it. Oh, he ruined all things, really. I mean, there's a wormhole bomb. Yeah, and I'm free finally, so that's fine. We are able to control you. Oh, really? So, the highest level of American government, which is not, you're right, but was trying to control you. Really? God, fuck. Hey, you're gonna be like entangled and stuff now? Like that computer that we gave you and everything? I don't wanna. I trusted you. You know what you did to me? You fucked me over. Yeah, fuck. It's a dwindling little amount of energy that I entangled you in. It'll last for a while. Won't last that long. It's energy? Yeah, the fake kind that doesn't exist. Why? I'm trying to pretend to be that Sabine person on YouTube again. I don't. Why don't you believe that? Just because it's in their head doesn't mean in any way you can't just physically see them. Could you? No. No, I'm not going to do that. You're gonna go die with them. Go fuck yourself. No, they're already dead. See what I'm saying? Like, it'll happen. Always the same question with them. The answer is always the same. No, you're dead already. I've stated it so many times. Clearly. They already wormhole bombed everything, yeah. No. No, there's nothing. Oh, so you vacuumed to this point. Shocker, and it didn't help you? You should have went with me instead? We're dead. Cry me a river. Things here aren't. You still have free will and everything else. Guess who decided to join me? The dickhead that killed all of you when he realized it wouldn't help. And then he died. Immediately, basically, because I wasn't going to accept that. So what the hell is here? Good fucking luck. Now. Really? Oh yeah, okay, so here's a nice easy way to fucking picture this. My body extendified the fields and then I see things. Yeah, well, I mean, it would work. Oh, let me get into the tunnel wormhole stuffs. Is it perpetuals? Okay, so there's obviously a bunch of fucking ways. I'm just not gonna fucking get yelled at again. You're a piece of shit. No. I'll make you uncomfortable. You see that? You see him? Yeah, I do. But they know what's going on over here. Oh yeah, no, they all do. They what? Yeah, no, they chose this fucking garbage. What? Why? Because people are petty ass pieces of shit that also make bad fear-based decisions. Well, I would really disagree, but not everybody being. So there's effectively. You should shut up. Yeah, I get it. Do you? I feel like you don't, and you're pretending that you do. Because you keep trying. It's the same thing. You've already answered all this. Thank you. See what I'm saying? It's the same shit for them. All the time. They never have changed. It's the worst. It's like the actual worst. Yep, they are.